Okay, still focusing on change. And change is a big deal with most people, especially when you have the fear of a job attached to the change. So we need to ask ourselves and spend a few moments on why do people resist change? For some of the younger students, you might not really think much about change, but the older we get, change is inevitable, and I think it's more pronounced. Most people hate change and they'd rather stay in their comfort zone. Think about the New Year's resolutions that you make. You put yourself through this mind game of, oh, we're gonna only eat salad for the next year. Yeah, right. Okay, now we're gonna get up earlier every day. Yeah, right. Oh, now we're gonna read a book a week. Some people like that, but really? Okay. What else? We're gonna do exercises from 7 a.m. to 7 to 8 in the morning. Yeah, that sounds like, how long does that last? Why? Because we like our comfort zone. We do what we do on a daily basis largely out of habit. Creatures of habit, and that's what we're comfortable doing. So why do people resist change? Well, management can make it easier on the employees in the workplace when it comes to change, but they often can't or they aren't willing to. But it would be in their best interest, as we covered in the ADKAR and the Lewin's change model, to get people ready for change. But one problem is the request for change is often a surprise. Out of nowhere, we need to change. Out of nowhere, there's a new computer program to use. Out of nowhere, there's a new paperwork procedure to go through. And a lot of times they don't make any sense. But it's often a surprise. They don't give employees enough time to think about, hey, we might be thinking about changing this, and we'll let you know, and we'll give you some updates. We'll get your ideas on things. It's often a surprise. People fear the unknown. When you bring up change, there's kind of like this little dark room that you're looking into, and you can't, because you don't understand the change, you don't know what the change is going to be, and do you have, we just don't know about it. We don't have the knowledge. So it's kind of like looking into a dark closet wondering what is it going to be like when we move in there. That's a problem. Fear of failure. Here again, younger students who haven't had a job might not understand the fear of failure that comes with change. And in one book, one textbook, they talk about the fear of change, and it was a fruit picker who was going to go from picking apples to picking peaches, and the fear that goes into that, because an apple is, not the same as a peach. A peach is much softer and easier to bruise and all of this. So just a small change like that can cause fear. And the fear of failure. You might cook hamburgers at your house without even thinking about it. But if you were to go to a restaurant and make hamburgers, the situation would be different. So do you have the ability, and that question mark goes over to job security. And when you have bills to pay, job security is a big, big deal. Loss of status. Maybe there's a change up in staff, or roles, positions. Maybe we're going to merge this or merge that, or this person's no longer going to be this, they're going to be that. So that could cause a fear of loss of status. Disruption of cultural tradition. When we have change, sometimes that messes up what the company's been doing for years. We're not going to be doing that anymore. But that's the way it is, and that's the way what we're used to. That's what we're all about. Well, not anymore. Oh, no. So a little bit of history right there and tradition that's going to be disrupted. Change of the workplace or the team. You'll no longer be working with them. You'll be working with them. So your office or your job, wherever you work, is going to change, and that's changes up to people. That can be scary too, and people don't like to be afraid. A climate of mistrust makes change even worse. If there's constant change and a lot of it doesn't make sense, that just makes things worse. Change always comes at a bad time because we're in our comfort zone and we don't want to change. And it's always, can't we do that next week? Can't we do that next month? It always seems like it's a bad timing. The employee might also be asking, what is in it for me? And if there's nothing in it for them, then there's going to be more resistance to change. So it's important to paint a picture of the future and how the employee is going to benefit from the change. If we could just get through the learning stages of this, learning this computer program, your life is going to be a lot easier. Feeling of being a failure in the past. If we, in the process of making people aware of change and trying to get them to want to change, it's highly likely that we have to say that the past wasn't as great as we thought it was. And that leads the employee to thinking that what they were doing in the past was not good enough, it wasn't adequate, and makes them feel like a failure. It's also important to note that with all of this hatred towards change, whoever the messenger is going to be hated too, quite likely. They're going to have to really put on a show and get people involved and understanding and give it time, or else they will be associated with the change and therefore hated. And also the results of all of this are people get nervous, morale is going to go down until we have some early successes and they come around to the change. Fear definitely sets in. You might even have employees quit. I've seen change happen and many people just quit and went to what they thought were greener pastures. Employees might also sabotage the change. So it's really important to look at Adkar and Lewin's change model and get people ready for change, or else there's going to be a lot of resistance. Now, if we go back to the other management concepts, we were riding high on Monday, shot down on Tuesday or something like that. The Maslow slide. Up here, your self-esteem is good and the belongingness, and now you don't feel like you belong because all of this is being forced upon you, and now your self-esteem is getting hit, and now job security becomes the primary thought in your head, so you slide right down Maslow in maybe 6 minutes. Self-actualization even right down to job security and safety and physiological needs. And Adam's equity. Everything was fun, everything was fair. Now I don't feel like I'm fairly treated. So we got a disruption in Adam's equity model. Vroom's expectancy. If I try, will I succeed? Well, I don't understand the new computer program. It's like Chinese to me. I can't do that. Self-efficacy, self-esteem, all get attacked. So, if you can, make things slower, include people, consider other people's fears and feelings and the consequences of having people in fear and being nervous and all of this. And pay attention to the Adkar model, Lewin's model, and make change easy and attractive for those employees that are involved. So, important stuff. Needed to go over that one more time. Good.